Welcome to this week's Make a Thing. The super quick report is that we all had tons of work to do this week, so we didn't get to do anything. But I'm still going to put out something today, and doing that by conscripting my family to talk about creativity. And so behind the camera right now is August, is filming, and over here is Samantha. Samantha Waters has her own YouTube show. Yeah, you do Let's Plays. And
I do Let's Plays.
Right.
I do Let's Plays.
She's a super fantastic singer as well. So I really recommend you go to her channel, which is called
Digi Rainbow, spelled with an E in rain, so it's DIGIRAINEBOW.
There you go. That's my setup.
All right, cool. So we're specifically talking about Wisteria?
Or? No, we can start with that. We can talk about her.
Well, I mean, I guess without revealing too much, what's the setup of Wisteria?
This is the thing we've been struggling with, is how much to reveal about what we are doing.
Right.
And because we've had I had a come to Jesus moment about this that we put up on the channel, which is we're writing the thing, and normally when you're making writing anything, making a movie, the standard Hollywood thing is don't tell anybody about anything.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And and so I was unconsciously sort of stuck in that mode. And then Wes, where we were doing our weekly creative meet, and it was just so we're going to put up the animatic, which has all the lines. The first episode, all this kind of jazz. And I was like, no, we should put that up. And then as soon as I said that, I started feeling shitty all day long, and I felt guilty about this because I was against the grain of what we were trying to do. So
right.
The idea
is share the project with
share
the whole world.
Fucking thing, the entire thing. The reason why we're doing this thing right now is because we're jammed with work all week long, and I forgot to even put together a video, right? And so moments before this started, I basically went to you, and I was like, could you help me do this and ask me some questions?
Yeah.
And we make a video. And the moment before I did that, I was like, maybe I'm not gonna make a video this week. There have been multiple instances like this where I'm I didn't know that I had a hang up, I didn't know that I had a thing, and then I run into it because working with these guys, we've just agreed to continue to do the thing. Is the initial setup of the thing is not just to create something, which is obviously what we want to be doing for certain, but it's to figure out, for me anyway, the things that keep me from creating things. What I'm saying, does that connect at all? Does that make sense to you? In terms
of absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I just am trying to come back from a very big break from my channel as well, even though all I'm doing is just pressing record on my face and then playing a video game and then editing that together. It was still really hard to get the motivation for a while when you're having a hard time, personal life, stressed out with other things, to feel like you have the energy or the capability or the talent to keep doing something. I mean, when you're in a shitty mindset, you keep having the what ifs pop up. The what ifs can be really, really hard in any creative project. What
happens for you? What's what's the one you slam up against?
I think the biggest thing, aside from I didn't look my best that day,
sure.
That can always be
my everyday
thing. I'm yeah, exactly. So sometimes I'm is my enjoyment of something enough to make someone enjoy watching me enjoy something else?
But the thing is, man, I watch those videos, so it can't be cheap. I'm getting something out of them by watching.
Yeah, but
things.
that's the thing. I have to remind myself, if I'm getting something out of recording them, obviously people have to be getting something out of watching it. Right. And I think that's something very important for everyone to remember in anything that they're making. No matter what it is, as long as you're having fun with it, there is definitely going to be at least a handful of other people who have fun too.
For me, when I'm talking about movies, I get into a zone of talk. You've seen this a million times. I get into a zone about talking about something, and I start and suddenly I'm in Miami Vice, and I'm doing the whole deal.
100%.
Right. And I feel when I'm watching when I'm watching a great Let's Play, or when I'm watching one of your videos, it's not just about seeing the game. It's the fact that I totally identify with the zone that you are in.
Yes.
And like that's it kicks off that feeling in me, and sort of brings down my own self-consciousness, my just daily, everyday self-consciousness a little bit. Like the feeling that I get from doing this stuff is similar to the feeling I get on set. We just shot for our other show, Glitch. And it's the energy, like the live energy of sharing something is super, super, super fantastic.
I find new people to watch every so often. So like this month, right? Like this last couple months, the person I've been watching has been Penny Parker.
Penny Parker.
Yes, she does basically the exact same thing that I do, except she's way more professional at this point in her career. But she is incredibly funny. I never thought that I was I could be funny, which is I think one of the things that held me back from doing my channel for so long was because I'm you need to be funny to do that type of thing. And I don't think I'm...
You have this assumption that well, there's other people who are funny.
You have to make funny commentary or whatever. And then very recently, I found out wait, I think I kind of am funny. I was wait a minute, I think I am kind of funny. But still, I like watching, and I'm not really studying, but really seeing someone else nail something that you didn't think that you could do until recently is double inspiring, because you're already inspired because you realize maybe I could achieve that.
Right.
So you're consuming it with the mentality of it is achievable.
Everything is super lo-fi now, right? And I feel that is seen as more real, more true.
Yeah.
Is that true for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think the reason why the content that's been taking off is because it's this level of authenticity that I guess Hollywood or something tends to want to snip away. We really want to make things perfect, but more and more people are finding inspiration in things that are more creative and I guess imperfect.
Right, because you guys have both shown me stuff. Augie showed me, what was it called? Is it Epithet Erased?
Yes.
Okay, so I saw this thing, this show, that's not more than a few people and using After Effects.
Oh yeah, and in general, it looks beautiful, and the emotional impact is still really there, but it's so simple.
Yeah.
People can really just go and do whatever they want, and it can still have exactly the impact that they want it to have.
Yeah, there's literally long scenes of just a top-down shot of a drawing of whatever, the dungeon they're going through.
Yeah.
And it's just little square pictures of them, and they're being animated going around while they're talking.
Yeah.
That takes maybe an afternoon to do that.
Barely.
One person, right?
Yeah.
And and there was something more legit about this than most of the stuff that I see on Netflix.
Yeah. It's because the heart's really there. There's this whole YouTube community where people just tell stories and then animate it. A story from high school or again a story from D&D, and then they animate it, and it's insanely there's and it's
it's
just
really
talking
engaging.
to somebody. It's super engaging.
Because with the woman doing the D&D thing, there's there was a zillion episodes of this, and we were deep into it, and I didn't realize how hooked I had gotten. I was watching a regular movie.
Yeah, you're good.
Right?
Really invested.
Yeah,
Oh my god, what's gonna happen next?
I felt the same, tug that I would normally feel watching
a
zillion
dollar
thing,
budget
right?
film. Yeah.
It's there's so much stuff now that if it's not if it doesn't connect for me, then I'm just not going to continue to watch it. And so you go through Netflix and you watch, I'll go through 6 or 7 things, and I'm nope. And these people that spent a lot of money putting something together, and then then here I'm going.
Right, exactly.
If what people are really looking for is the emotional connection of you're telling something, you're telling me a story, whether about yourself or making something up that I'm reacting to, and all the special effects in the world aren't going to fucking help you. It's either good or it's not good.
It's good or it's not good. That's just the truth of it.
Yeah. And I've always like said that, but I've never seen it more true than what this woman is like drawing, like sketches of her D&D campaign, and it's just sort of cutting between these every few seconds.
Yeah, and some of them are more finished than others.
Some
of them
exactly.
still have the
exactly.
Yeah,
lines
and
on
by
them.
the way, that is the Fool's Gold campaign.
Fool's Gold.
Fool's Gold.
Fool's Gold.
Okay,
Props
cool.
to Fool's Gold. That it's not the starter for how I felt about Wisteria. We'd already actually been playing Wisteria as a game, like, years ago now.
Yeah.
But it's the thing that I was like, I've been thinking about this like all
the wrong way.
all wrong. It's like I've been out in Hollywood trying to pitch stuff, make movies, blah 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 for a long time. And I rewrote the thing, or I have my like my first episode and go to see a producer and I try and sell them on it, and then we take somebody else and try and sell them on it, and try like the chances of getting through that, like pachinko machine or like zero, right?
Yeah.
And maybe it was true a long time ago that was the only way to do it.
Yeah.
But like now it's like, why do it like at all? In every other situation, whether I am good enough to be involved or not, I will often feel like I am not good enough. And I know a lot of people know this feeling. There's a name for it, imposter syndrome, and it's not just brutal, it's idiotically brutal, because it's just like every time I start a new gig on a new show or a movie, like it's like I get reset. Just like, all right, well, that was extremely successful and everyone loved the work and everyone's happy. We're starting a new show. You're an idiot.
This one's not successful? What if I can't do this one though?
That I'm making it much easier on myself by working with people that I know really well, family and people that I love, because like they've seen me fuck up for real, and because of that, it's easier to keep things going the way that I want them to go. I don't know.
It's trust.
Yeah, it's trust. I guess like the goal behind it is like, how far can we expand that circle? At least so we can start sharing that feeling. I don't expect this to go anywhere or do anything or be anything or make any money or anything like this. And like I had to at some point in my life just sort of like give up on that as a goal, right? Like that's not. And I think that like for me and for a lot of people, like it's hard to make that choice where you just like
To create instead of to create for money,
money.
I guess.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Because like money is legitimacy. Like getting it out there in these very specific ways and going through these very specific pathways, like that's when you're allowed to feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that's a super fucking small gauge sieve to try to pass through. And so when we're talking about like the stuff that we're doing right now, like there's no like you have to go like, no one's gonna watch this fucking show. Is that cool? Do I want to spend the time doing it for like whatever 50 followers and 26 views?
Yeah.
And is it still meaningful to do that? And so far, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am fulfilled by the making of stuff. I'm fulfilled by the sharing of the making of stuff with people that I love. And I'm fulfilled even further by sharing and the making of the stuff.
I totally understand, like, being like, is it worth it to do all of the work?
Right.
Even if people don't really watch it.
Right.
Like, is the climb worth the
yeah, exactly.
goal? Or, like,
exactly.
whatever, right? And, like, it totally is. Like, once you reach that realization, you're like, oh my god.
yeah, exactly. Because so, like, once, it's like, especially with the editing, it's like, once it's, like, outside of my head enough, that I'm just like, oh wait, it's the thing. Up until that point, I'm just like kind of worried, and then like I start cutting it together, and I'm like, oh yeah, now I'm watching a movie.
Right, exactly. Because like, I mean, when you think about things that you want to make, you don't necessarily want to make it and see it because you want other people to like it. You want to make it and see it because you care a lot about it, and you want to watch it yourself. Right? Like you care about stories that you write because you want to see it.
Well, yeah,
finished.
right. This is like, and I like Quentin Tarantino always caught heat for this. He's like, I watch my movies all the time, and it was like, what an arrogant asshole. I'm like,
why wouldn't you not want to like
of
your movies?
Of course,
if you liked your movie, you won.
Exactly.
You did
That's the
it.
reason why you're making the thing in the first place. So you have this thing that you love and you're proud of.
Yeah.
You know, and like I watch all my stuff. I reread my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I check in with myself, like, what would I do differently now? Blah blah blah. But generally, I'm always like, oh, I'm totally psyched. You know, because the thing's like, it's not done until it's something I'm psyched with. Very few projects that I've ever released that I feel like, yeah, I'm just like, man, I guess I could have done that. Who cares? You know, just like I'm putting it out because I reached a point where like, there, you know, and even if it's sort of half-assed, like then it's still fine. Like then I'm just like, it's sort of half-assed, everybody, you know, hooray!